Welcome to a new speaker series hosted by Live with Intent called Permission for Pleasure. My vision is a new world anchored in masculine and feminine leadership harmony. And the more harmony you experience, the more wealth you receive in all parts of your world. Please enjoy this empowered new series as you give yourself permission to receive pleasure. Hi, my name's Amy Jones, and I'm here with Nicol Donner, and we're here for the Permission for Pleasure Masterclass series. And Nicol is an amazing movement specialist coach, and we're here to really just ask her some questions and get her to share some empowering healing ways that you can move your body to release a lot of the things that you don't think are connected to your body, but everything's connected to your body. And I'm really excited to dig into some of these questions that I know are top of mind for a lot of people. And Nicol's going to really share with us how she helps you heal through movement. Are you excited? Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. So I would love for you to maybe just share, you can talk about this a bit and then maybe kind of show us some examples. What kind of problems do you find that most people deal with? Like what kind of problems do most people come to you with? Like, what does that look like?
Well, as our days are quite busy and quite fast and always with 100 of topics. So, and as we carry all those thoughts, not only in our head, but in our body, like the really common topics are problems in the spine and in the shoulders, in the shoulder region, in the chest area, topics of the heart, and also in the hip area where we are, depending on what kind of, if it's a real accident or if it's just a stress situation or something we are carrying for a long time, we tend to shut down those areas instead of keeping to move them, which is our whole body made for. It's made for movement. It's made to get us forward. That's why our nose is in this direction. Our eyes is always in the forward direction. So it's mostly there. So, and yeah, I'm observing people for quite some time, and I'm always amazed in a sometimes in a shocked way and sometimes in a just observing way how we are not at home in our bodies. And I can speak for myself, even being a movement specialist, I had to find out that I'm, very well trained, but I wasn't at home in myself for quite some time. So that's, and these are the topics that are related to movement, and which can be outside as a physical movement, but also inside and going inwards, and really, first of all, getting the awareness of where are my topics. Am I somebody carrying my topics in my shoulder, or am I the person carrying my topics in the hips? So this is also something where most people are really not aware of. Like, what kind of person am I? Eating wise, what do I like? Do I like to carry my topics on the shoulder, or do I like to push my, shut it down in my heart, or or just do not move in my hips anymore? If hips don't lie, if we don't move, we don't talk anymore. All these kind of, I can talk for hours about all these topics. So yeah.
Well, it's so funny because this is where these phrases come from, is you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, or you're breaking my back.
Exactly.
Or your closed heart, or your broken heart. We're putting words to what we feel, and then we're so repetitively used to these feelings that we forget that they're there, and then we all of a sudden look and behave different, because this just becomes who you are. So I'd love to go ahead.
Yeah, and we literally, program ourselves with these kind of speaking to ourselves. That's why, I'm even more delighted if I can connect to people right away, because when I hear them talk about their topics or about their body, I hear right away the way they talk about themselves or their body. And this is, I get goosebumps all over my body, because this is key, the way we talk to ourselves. So it's It's the language that we talk. It's the body language that we also, how do I walk? Am I a fast walker? Am I aware of my speed of life also? So, and these are all those, things that are always clicking into each other, which we never take apart to like realign them so they are running smoothly for our everyday lives, and expanding our souls, and all those things that are like making us more small instead of lighting us up. Yeah,
I mean, it really is 95% mindset runs the show.
exactly.
And your mind is powerful, very powerful, but your heart leads, and your heart is connected to feelings. And when you shut down the feelings, you're not allowing your trueness to lead. So I'd love for you to give some examples. We've talked about emotions. What types of emotions are people holding in what different spots of the body? So if somebody's, oh my God, I feel like this, could you maybe give some examples? You talked about spine, shoulder, chest, hips. What are like,
for example, I go a little bit more to the back. So let's start with the shoulders, because mostly, like I can do different things with my shoulders, which if I do movement, then I have to do it. But during a day or during a phase of time, people tend to do like this if they're like, what am I doing here? It's a shock moment. Or as we already said, like I'm carrying the weight of my job, of my family, whatever, there are so many different situations, but I am carrying the weight on my shoulders. So I have to get tension in my shoulders to be able to carry the weight. But our shoulders are not made to carry this kind of weight, because it's different topics for different situations. So then that runs into a headache, that runs into a short neck, that runs into the whole, our whole way of looking changes. So, and then at a certain point, we're not aware that we are walking like this all the time, which also creates tension in the arms. So I'm not even able to move my arms properly or freely. That's when we get topics in the shoulders, we can't reach up anymore and stuff like this. So my first thing then is to even show this person how tense they are. So then even bring more tension in the shoulders, like really pull them up. And then everybody's like, whoa, this is so exhausting if you do moving up and down and move. But then let it go, like really release the tension. And this is like the first time when the whole body is like, whoa. And then the brain kicks in. It's like, I didn't even realize. So it's this bring more tension in that, because what people start to do is like doing this the whole day. So everybody's seeing and listening and starting to do this. This is when we, first of all, sometimes I call it the massage person, like wherever I am, because I can do it on my own first of all. Then to like just roll the shoulders. We don't do this. So put more tension on top to let your body know this is tension, this is relaxation, and move the shoulders around.
And I love that you bring awareness by like amplifying, because then people can kind of see a lot of the difference. I love that.
It's needed.
Yeah. So can I do one more? Because I want to keep these short.
Of course.
If people I'm ready. We'll give you some ways to connect. So your shoulders, we've got chest, hips, spine. Like, what do you want to do?
Let's go a little bit deeper to the chest, because this is the chest area, and either we are like, let me stand up. We are like, over time, people are going into this kind of, posture. We're sitting, we're doing this all the time. We're eating like this. We're carrying children. We're carrying whatever, everything goes like this for us. To know that being up straight is not a real big issue, because sometimes people are like, yeah, but then I have to do this. No, you don't need to do this. Yeah. It's just a really little tiny movement. It's like when you put your hand on your what's that? On your décolleté.
I love that.
And just push it up. That's all you got to do. And you have a total different posture. I just show it again. It's like when you hang, because I have those nice hanging shoulders myself at the moment. But if you do this, and this is already connecting to your heart. It's like when we sometimes just take a deep breather, if it's like, oh my God, what, it's this gesture that we do anyways. So then just like lift it up. And it's a whole different posture.
I just did that myself and I love it. And it's so funny because in the last couple of years, I've begun to do this a lot as I reconnected with balancing my energies and allowing my heart to lead.
Exactly.
I realized I never did that when I was in corporate and I was on my computer because you feel like, right? But then you do this and it's very empowering and grounding and loving. And I love that you brought that in to the confidence.
Yeah.
Connected because you believe in yourself more and you've got more worth and you're standing different. And I love how you connected it to that touch. That's really beautiful.
Yeah, I get goosebumps again because, even to get to the women for just a moment, what I'm observing also like really, really often is that people, in this case, women, are hardly touching their body. Like, I'm also teaching dance and stuff like this. So there are movements where you go like, you touch your body and literally people like those females, women don't feel good touching themselves. But this, even this gesture sometimes it was like, they're not in touch with themselves. But to start with a hand on a heart is on so many levels connecting to yourself.
It's so nourishing. And I can 1000% contest as a woman that spent 20 years in corporate. I did not, and I'm 44, and I did not start doing this until about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And doing this was connected.
There's even
my balance, bringing my feminine and my leadership. And you're right. And even just that, like that is so powerful.
Yeah. And then, then it's connected to the next thing, what I'm also observing. And it doesn't relate to the size of what we carry, like breast wise. It doesn't relate to this at all, because no matter if they're small, if they're big, if they're middle size, it doesn't matter. But we get looked not always in the eyes, but in this direction. It is like this. But this is something where women start to also shut down and,
Totally.
So, and this is something where, we have this saying like shoulders back, nose up, stuff like this. And this is such a harsh move. Everybody's doing like this, which brings the next tension in the whole body. But if you just put your hand here, and I tell them like, stretch yourself to the sky, grow as a flower, stuff like this. It's a whole different feeling of me carrying myself through my day in a confident way, not showing off anything or, not being in a position where I'm like, oh, now everybody's going to look at me. No, I'm just walking aligned, really just walking aligned.
Do you know what, as you're saying this, I don't think I've asked you, how tall are you?
I'm 5'6", I think I'm 1 meter 70 centimeter. That's our measure. Is it okay? 5'6"?
Yeah. I'm 183. I'm 5'11".
Okay, then I'm 6 or 7, something like
this. As
you
were talking, I distinctly zapped right back to when I was in like grade 1 or 2 or 3, and I was like this much taller than everybody, and I was like trying to hide myself.
Exactly.
And you get your breasts, and obviously you don't want to hide, and so I spent my whole life staying small and hiding. I've moved through all of that, and now I love wearing 5-inch heels, and my daughter's going to be 6'2", and she loves being tall, and I'm happy with that. But when you were saying that, like, I just realized like everything I did was just to try and stay small and blend in and just to be, regular.
And walking straight, walking upright, sometimes it's also being put together then with like being, how do I say it? Like, carrying the nose too high. I don't know how, there's so many
arrogance. Because it's
or something like this. Exactly.
When it's heart-led, it becomes empowering confidence. And that's what I was going to say is I have so much confidence in the way that I walk and I carry myself. It's like I am amazing, and I know it, and and you just carry yourself different, and I love
Exactly.
that.
And I just show you, let me just show you, because like there's, if I would be like this,
Yep.
my whole view just goes down there. But if I just do this,
You
then
see
I'm,
it differently. You do. You see the world differently.
and sometimes this even is a really intimate time to change this view. So it's like, oh yeah, it's so easy. I know we're both, moving people that are like, we can catch up those things, like you feel it right away. For people that are not so much into their bodies, to even get to feel this, get to know this, get into this kind of changing a posture and changing this kind of alignment is already a
It's
way.
powerful.
Is transforming, is very, very powerful, but it's also to be led in a really sensitive and compassionate and loving way. Because if you have been carrying yourself for 30 years in a certain way, you don't just click it and go like, oh, no, I'm just going up straight, if you're not used to this. So this really is at times the process itself to realign and recalibrate the muscles around it, your structure, your view,
It's very
and what you suddenly see is sometimes like, whoa, there's like, it's like whoop, lifting so many, like opening the windows to the world. And it can be overwhelming in a way that it's like, whoa, that's it's also releasing, when you open the doors and all the other topics are also coming to the forefront. So that's why it's really, really nice to be able to walk people through those kind of transformations.
Yeah, it's creating safety within yourself. It's nurturing, it's loving, it's tender, it's compassionate. It's all the things that you maybe didn't receive the way you specifically wanted to receive when you were younger. And so you get to give this all to yourself. And it's a beautiful gift. Thank you for sharing this. This was really, really lovely.
You're welcome.
I love what you do. I think it's
I
amazing.
love doing it. That's why. Yeah.
So we just gave one example. Obviously there's tons. We wanted to keep this short. I'm going to put your contact at the bottom so people can connect in with you. And thank you very much. Is there anything you'd like to say before we close out?
It's my pleasure. I'm always here for everybody who has topics around the body, around movement. Exactly. We scratched all the surfaces because it all relates to everything. It's a mindset thing. It's when I want to apply for a job and I walk in, people see you. It's the first impression you only make one time. So everything related to those kind of topics, and it's it can be even then we have the pain parts, like I have problems, like real problems, and how can I change my everyday movement at the job with myself. It doesn't always have to be the big thing as we see. Sometimes it's like really small things that you always need to put in the little moments. It's not much more than that. Then I'm always here and welcome for everybody to connect with me. As we said, my contact will be seen and shown, and you can find me in the World Wide Web, of course, also. So I'm very happy to connect with everybody who feels drawn to me.
Oh, well, I'm drawn to you. I love you. Thank you.
I love you too.
Have a beautiful day. And for everybody, this is part of the Permission for Pleasure speaker series, the Masterclass edition. And if you'd like to connect in and host your own masterclass or be interviewed for the speaker series, you're welcome to connect into my world, and I'll drop the information at the bottom. Have a beautiful day. I love you.
Thank you for your space.